back to the Fox Robbins Business Show. Come on in and sit a while. We're going to talk about building a business model. This is an essential step in. It's not necessarily starting a business, but even when changing direction is not a bad idea to use build and refer to a business model.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about a business model, and this is the Fox Robbins Business Show, and this show is all about small business, whether you're starting just thinking about a business, or actually starting one up, or you got one up and running, and it's running great, or it ain't running so great, or you want to make major changes in product, services, markets, getting into import, export, whatever the case might be, whatever your questions are, we've got some answers, some suggestions, some help, some encouragement. We don't have the pom-poms, but we are cheerleaders, for...
Yep.
I had to bring some pom-poms to this show,
I'll flip them around, I don't mind.
And I'm the co-host, Bill Fox, but the other co-host, now this guy is positively electric. He's efflorescent, and he is high-powered. He is Coach Robbins.
High-powered.
Coach?
It's my electrical engineering background.
We talk about an effective business model. This is something that Coach likes very much to talk about. He teaches a course, in fact, that delves into the business model. And
yes, sir.
There's one he likes is called the Barringer Ireland business model, from a text by that name.
Yes.
They have an excellent approach. So we're going to
the text is entrepreneurship, and Barringer and Ireland are the professors, I forget where, and they basically built their business model out of the business model that came out of the University of California, which is the business model Canvas.
Canvas, yeah.
And they felt, and I agreed with them because I actually built one too, that was slightly different than the business model Canvas that came out of the University of California, because I thought it was a little too jumbled up, and I put it more in a sequential order, and they took it to an even higher level and broke it into 4 quadrants, which we'll get into. And I think they developed a good business, but they're all good.
Oh.
I just like theirs the best.
Look, the thing about the building the business model. Now, I don't know. You know what? Some of you, might be drifting off to sleep.
Yeah.
Say a business model, and please don't, because this is crucial stuff, and it's because. As I mentioned earlier, starting up a new business for sure, but even further down the line is reorienting or changing an existing business.
Oh, coming out, just coming up with new ideas and keeping your company fresh.
But what so many people talk to you about is you're gonna start a business or redirect a business. You write a business plan. Well, that's great, but if you've never done that, then what you do at your business plan is look at this as a blank piece of paper.
Right.
That's very daunting, Coach. But you have this now a preliminary step called building the model. This is what Coach is going to talk to you about.
Yep.
Where you delve into the most key ingredients of the business plan.
Well, the way I put it, it's kind of a reality check, And like you said, you've got an idea, you're thinking of starting a new business. Well, this is just something that you can use prior to putting together a full-blown business plan to see if the basics are there, that there is, in fact, the potential for a viable, profitable, sustainable business. And like I say, it's a reality check. It's a quick reality check. It can be done in a very short period of time. And it doesn't matter whether you're somebody who wants to start a new business or you're working for a big company and they want to come up with a new product. It's kind of a new business. You can use this because a lot of companies use what's known as an 8-step to a new product introduction. And this could be part of the first few steps, because the further a company gets to a new product development and introduction, each step along the way, they're spending more or investing, hopefully, more and more money in the future success of this thing. And you are, as a business owner, or want to be, also looking at it as, can I make money doing this? Can I make kind of money I want to make doing this? And is it sustainable? Does it give you, just like I say, the best term I can come up with is reality?
Well, taking a look at this, the business model. By the way, Coach, there's a super duper graphic of the business model, but
Yeah.
I couldn't get it on this thing.
Yeah.
But the key elements of the business model are core strategy,
Yep.
resources, financials, and operations.
Right.
True?
Yep.
Okay.
Those are the 4 basics.
All right. Well, let's just jump into. We'll start with the core strategy part, which is the called the first component of the business model. Is the core strategy that describes the plan to compete,
Right.
and the primary elements of which mission, market, product, market, and so let's go into. Let's jump into business
Jump right
mission.
in. Sure. Mission statement.
Okay, business mission. Let's hit it.
A mission statement is unfortunately underused in the small business world. You should have a clear understanding, as should every one of your employees. You're ready for this?
Is this a French bit?
It
Are you going to hit us with the French bit?
Your raison d'être, your reason for existence, and I mean your reason for existence from the viewpoint of the target customer, which we'll get to in phase 3. And what are you going to do? What's going to sustain your company that you're going to do? And hopefully it's something a little different than they're getting now. That is important to them. And I think every company should have a very simple, short mission statement, something you can put on a t-shirt, I like to say, that everybody understands. This is why we're here. And like I say, far too many people either don't have a mission statement, or they have a mission statement that doesn't mean anything. It's a lot of fluff. I've walked into companies that were a flaming disaster. I mean, bad customer service, poor operations, no sales people. I mean, and yet you look at their mission statement, and it was a beautiful mission statement. Yeah. And I'm saying, well, obviously, nobody's following anything that's on that wall, So
people concoct this just because they think, well, we should, and
we should, but that doesn't mean we have to do it. No, well, that's not sustainable.
It should be Shakespearean in scope.
Yeah, right. Shakespearean. Exactly. Let's write something beautiful and then ignore it. Right.
But the they're saying overarching priorities.
Yep.
Financial. By the way, Coach, they say financial and moral compass.
People care about corporate, responsibility and the morality of a company, and that we're here trying to do some good things for people of the world and the world.
And this statement, unlike the company that you just referred to, this mission statement can be referred back to
constantly.
In making important decisions, like
absolutely,
why do we exist, in which direction are we going, and why are we here, and what are we trying to accomplish?
Exactly. And like I say, I've seen mission statements that are far too long, and they're no good either, because nobody can memorize the darn things.
Right.
They should be simple enough and yet cover what's important to the market and to your stakeholders, which also include employees, stockholders, if you have them.
Now, I take it that that mission statement, somebody starting up a company and a mission statement says, I need something to do.
Not good enough, because the market doesn't care if you need something to do. Yeah.
Okay.
I got nothing better to do with my time.
So we're still talking Guys, we're still talking about core strategy. We're business mission. Now we're going to move to what is called basis of differentiation. That's a big mouthful, Coach. What's that mean?
Well, like I say, if you do the same things as everybody else, you might get into a price war, and the only people that win a price war are the customers, and you can't win as a company on a price war. You've got to provide a value, hopefully that's different from what the other competitors are providing to that target market. And if you can find some means of differentiating that's important to that target customer, then you have potentially a very sustainable business model and a very sustainable business. Now, competitive advantage, we talk about it constantly. What makes you different that gives you a competitive advantage in your market? And something even as simple as a restaurant. Maybe we're the only Mexican restaurant, in the town. And okay, that's something that's a little different than the Italian restaurant next door. Right. So what is your competitive advantage? What makes your business so different that's important in the minds of the customer that they're going to come to? Well, we just another pizza parlor. And there were 4 pizza parlors in a little town and I kept saying to my students, happening to the town where I teach, and I said, I have no idea how the 4 of them survived. That was 5 years ago. There's only 1 left, right? Too small a town for 4 pizza parlors.
Well, the model says solves a problem or satisfies a customer need.
Absolutely. Those are the 2 things. That's marketing 101, to use a trite expression, that find a need and fill it. That's what we're trying to do with a business model. We've found a space here, a niche, another French pronounced word instead of niche, that you're able to start your business. Nobody else is doing that, and there is a desire for it, a want, a need, a desire, and you got a shot at having a sustainable business.
Yeah, that market niche thing, Coach, says there's a market.
Yeah.
There are segments of a market.
Yep.
And then there are even finer definitions, niche, which are
crack in the wall.
Crack in the wall.
That's what niche means in French. It's a crack in the wall, and you're trying to find that crack where people are willing to come and give you their money.
And speaking of which, again, we're still on core strategy. We've got mission, differentiation, and target market.
Yep.
Target market or segment or niche, or whatever. Go ahead. What's the target market? This part of the model. What are you going to write down here?
What I do when I teach this is I draw a big circle on the board in front of the students, just a big circle, and I ask them, "What is that?" And they say, "That's a circle." And I say, "No, that's a pizza." Okay? I said, now I am going to segment, target, and position using this class and pizza. And so that I ask the class, who likes pepperoni? Who likes cheese? And then I start drawing slices up there. Well, what I'm doing is I'm segmenting the class, and they can vote on more than one type that they like, as to who likes what. Now I look at that and say, well, I think I have a competitive advantage going to market selling some sort of pizza. Let's say chicken pizza, right? I'll just make up one, right? Yeah. Because Frank Pertut is my brother. I have a competitive advantage. I can get the chickens cheaper and fresher. And so I'm going to go after just that one slice of that market. I'm not going to try to be all things to all people. You wind up being nothing to all people. You wind up being Sears. They don't know who they are. They're what we call stuck in the middle. Yeah. And that's why they're closing in so many stores. Who are they anyway? They tried to be too many things to too many people. Right. And other people took pieces of their market away, and now the company's in dire trouble. So once I've done that, I say, okay, I'm just going to go after the chicken pizza because, like I say, I have an advantage. Frank Pertut is my brother, right? So I can get the chickens cheaper, even though that may not be the biggest slice of the market. So I've segmented the market, I've targeted the chicken pizza, And now I'm going to work with my promotion and my marketing piece and make sure people out there understand that I'm the best chicken pizza guy in the world, and tell them why. And that's all part of the advertising, promotion, the sales. And I'm positioning my company as the de facto brand for chicken pizza. I know.
Okay,
I
so
don't eat
the other,
chicken pizza.
right, so in this section of the business model, the core strategy, we have a mission, we have a point of differentiation,
Yep.
target market or market segment.
Yep. Yeah, and you can go after more than one. You don't have to just say, well, what you don't want to do is try to be all things to all people. Like I said, that's what Sears tried to do. And guess what? They just closed a bunch of stores. And they might be closing it permanently if they don't get their act together.
Yeah, that's Sears' story.
Who are they?
We ought to talk about that one of these
Yeah.
days. It's amazing.
100 years ago, you went to their catalog and bought everything you want, including a Ford Model T.
Yeah.
But the world's changed. They didn't keep up.
They're not alone.
No, they're not.
So in this first part of the business model, again, guys, we're talking about what's called the core strategy, composed of the mission, the important differentiation, target market, and now we're going to ask you about the product and scope.
Yep.
Which you've already started on in defining the market. But talk to us about product/market scope.
Well, I mean, you want to get into, like I said, when you're talking about, well, I want to get into a business, everybody has certain needs as far as, financial needs and all kinds of other needs when they're for themselves. A lot of people will ask me, do you think I can get an investor for this little business? And I'll say, well, that little word the answer is probably no, not unless it's your mother or your father, or because, angel investors are looking for something that will scale big, So product scope, what is the potential market for this product or this service is what you're trying to evaluate. You're trying to figure out, am I going to get enough revenue to accomplish what I want to accomplish with this particular product or service? When we say product, we mean product or service, of course.
Yeah, I mean, a product is, if you sell a pizza, you make the pizza.
Yeah.
What a service is that you don't make nothing, but you form a delivery service.
You're a lawyer.
And you take the pizza to the customer.
Exactly.
Well, right now you've got a company that's heavily advertising on TV. It isn't about pizza, but it's about delivering food.
Sure.
Not making the food.
That's right.
But that you call in, and from a group of local restaurants, I will be the intermediary who will bring the food to your front door.
I have many clients who started that type of business a decade ago. And they did it on a very localized basis, and they were doing quite well. But now it's been blown up to be a national thing with like a McDonald's, At first there were only 2 McDonald's, now there are, 20,000 of them.
Right.
And they're starting to compete with the little local guys by nationalizing the thing. And what they're trying to do is create a brand.
But that's a service.
That's purely a service.
They don't make,
they don't do anything.
They deliver.
Lawyer, doctor,
the plumber, your
bank,
your electrician.
Plumber, they bring products, but they're basically they're providing service. I mean, the majority of our economy now is service-oriented. Nationally, a lot of our, as you know, products are being made overseas.
You have the combination that a restaurant you speak of, they make food.
Yep.
But they could also organize your cater your wedding.
Yep.
That's a service.
Well,
So
a
service.
restaurant period is a hybrid. You can go to a restaurant and get great food, and if the service stinks, you're not going back, right? If the front of the house is not run correctly, a good cook doesn't make for a good restaurateur all by itself. They have to take care of the bar, they have to take care of the front of the house, make people reservations, served correctly. A restaurant's a hybrid. A bar of soap is a product. If you make a bar of soap, It's a product.
Right.
Nobody's going to be, helping you with your bar of soap in the shower. You got to do it yourself, right?
Right.
Okay. I won't even go there. Right? But if it's a pure service like a bank, what are they? They're really a pure service. They don't give you anything except a receipt, a piece of paper, and or a lawyer, like you said, or a doctor. They're purely a service, right? They don't make anything. And then, like I say, there's the restaurant that has to pay attention to both the product and the service end because.
Okay, Coach. Business model. We started by talking about core strategy and developing your information for your mission, your point of differentiation, target market segment, product market scope, and now we're going to move on to resources. And the resources, that's the second component of the business model. And resources equals the inputs to produce, sell, distribute, and service the product or service or service. And the key resources. So talk to us about resources.
Well, I mean, again, if you want to keep it simple, go back to manufacturer of anything, a restaurant, their key resources are going to be, first of all, location, second of all, money, third of all, suppliers, employees. These are all inputs to a successful business. Those
I thought it was just location.
Well, location is good on real estate. It's not all. It's also not bad on anything in the B2C world. The business to consumer world.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to be doing business with the consumer, you do want a good location. You do need a location that has two things: it's accessible and it's visible. And signage is critical to visibility. And a lot of towns are killing signage because they're just making it so difficult in some towns to put a sign up that points the way to your business. But location becomes important. I mean, if you're just making widgets, you can be in a warehouse where nobody knows. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But if you're trying to do business with the consumer, you have a visible access location.
Key resources, tangible and intangible.
Right.
Hard to imitate. And
well, that
hard
gives
to
you that
substitute.
differentiator, yeah.
Right. Necessary for the business model to be competitive over the long term.
Sustainable.
The resources.
Yeah.
Okay. And the core competencies that you will be needing in the business. You need that in your in the business model, such as specific talent, technical know-how, and so forth. So talk to us about the core competencies.
Well, core competencies would be an all-encompassing term, but it could basically what it means is, do you have any experience doing any of the things that you're going to be doing and selling? Whether it's a product or a service. I happen to study electrical engineering in school and went to work for a company selling electrical products. And so I went from that, I morphed into my own businesses, but they were all electrical based, whether it was telecommunications, power distribution, whatever. They were all based on electrical type things because I had a background in that. I don't know how anybody could start, for instance, a restaurant, has no restaurant experience, doesn't know how to cook, doesn't know how to manage. I just don't know how people could get into a business where they have no core competencies, because then you got to go out and hire them all, right? The E-Myth, of course, talks about the fact that people usually start a business because they have some technical skill. The guy knows how to cook. He's a great cook.
Right.
Is that going to transfer automatically into be a great restaurateur? Not necessarily.
No.
The good ones understand that there's management, there's financial, there's marketing, there's service end of it. There's an awful lot to it.
Well, yeah.
Beyond just cooking good hamburgers.
Speaking of that industry, that restaurant industry, they go in and out like.
Well, that's the
like
reason we talk about they're out more than they're in. That's the fastest industry. That's the fastest turnover of businesses is in the restaurant business.
But those competencies, the Barringer, Ireland, they suggest that could be technical know-how.
Yep. Maybe you know how to write software. Or maybe you know how to design websites really good. You're artistic and you also have the technical skills to put up websites. I don't know, just what is your capability that you're going to bring to the market that's in demand?
Right.
And how do you differentiate yourself? How are you going to do it? You do websites just like everybody else. Who cares?
Efficient process.
Yeah.
Could be in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know that I don't know why that just it pops into my mind. The success of Walmart was in their process as much as the size and the location of their stores.
Their process was phenomenal.
The process was phenomenal.
They kept their inventory turning. That was their core competence. Yeah.
Anyway, and trust with the customers. That's a
very,
competency. I mean,
that very important 5-letter word, trust.
Yeah.
That's
trust.
how you keep customers coming back. That's why they come back to you, because you know what? They trust your brand. They
Hard
trust
to get,
your name.
easy to let go.
Hard to earn, takes a lot of time, and easy to lose it if you're not careful. And you do have to be very careful with it.
And expert product design would be another core
Absolutely.
competency.
If you've got something, you've got a patent on it, you're good at designing it or making it, then that could be a core competence.
We're Coach. We've got enough to talk about with this business model.
Yep.
We'll do a second episode, a follow-up episode.
A lot to talk about.
But this will be episode 1 of 2 with regard to the building of an effective business model.
Yep.
Okay. And again, this is the Fox Robbins Business Show, all about a small business, whatever stage you're at. We want to talk to you, and we also all of the Fox Robbins episodes are uploaded to YouTube for convenience.
Yep.
I mean, our show it airs on local TV.
All different times, dates.
You never know when it's going to happen, but you go to YouTube at your convenience. Go to YouTube, and on the front page of YouTube,
Search.
in the search box, just type in a single word, Fox Robbins, FOXROBBINS, Fox Robbins, and click and go to the library.
Yep.
And then pick and choose
Pick a subject.
Subjects that are meaningful.
Yep.
And timely.
Yep.
And outstandingly interesting.
Aren't they all?
And we will see you guys next time.